program, we continue to probe the injection of career expertise in the political scene with a view to unraveling how the transition from giving professions to politics impacts leadership. On this episode of the program, we will be interacting with a former banker and entrepreneur turned politician. We will meet my guest shortly. I'm Onengie Fineface, and this is the mandate. The mandate began his career as a banker in 1989 with the defunct Afribank and later moved on to work in three other banks until 2004 when he ventured into entrepreneurship, setting up multiple enterprises ranging from manufacturing of security and leather outfits to electricity distribution, telecommunications, and food processing. Welcome to the program, Honorable Dennis Nnamdi Agbo, member-elect for Udenu Igboeze North Federal Constituency of Enugu State.
Thank you.
Do I say Igboeze North Udenu Federal Constituency?
Igboeze North Udenu Federal Constituency.
All right, well, it's almost the same there. This is not your first entry into the National Assembly, but it will be your first time doing so on the platform of the Labour Party.
Yes.
What does the electoral fortunes of the Labour Party say about the political structure of Enugu State, which had been a stronghold of the PDP, your former party?
Yeah, PDP was my former party, and the time came when Labour Party now arrived the scene.
It has always been there.
Labour Party arrived the scene in Enugu State.
Okay.
With its mantra, with its message, with its philosophy. And it was quite attractive, and the state bought into it.
Other than the OB movement, what's the mantra, what's the philosophy of the Labour Party?
It is about the people.
Okay.
It's about the labor movement. It's about the workers. It's about entrepreneurship, free enterprise, deepening democracy, the rule of law. These are the things that Labour Party stand for, apart from moving Nigeria from consumption to production.
Okay, go on with what you were saying about the political situation in Enugu, looking at the upsurge by the Labour Party.
Yeah, so the principal, our principal in Labour Party is Mr. P2B. He represents something. He represents a change, a breath of fresh air, a change into the new from the old in Nigeria. And immediately P2B, we were together at a point in PDP.
Yes.
And when P2B left PDP, it was like he took away the soul of the party. And I wasted no time, and I had to join him. When I joined him, I was among the very early people that moved into Labour Party in Enugu State. And we started building the party, infusing the philosophy, infusing the life, infusing the new thinking, selling the message. And more people started joining. We sought for the credible people, the best of the politicians that were willing to come along with us. And gradually, we built up Labour Party and to what we have today. We have, made a very serious mark in Enugu State. Okay. We have actually wiped out the old order and brought in the new.
Well, that's in terms of
elections. It was almost a clean sweep.
That's in terms of elections. We wait to see how that also translates to leadership. You had your first chance at the House of Representatives at the 8th National Assembly, where you moved a motion to terminate the mobility of herders to solve the crisis between herders and farmers. Can you bring us up to speed with that motion? How far did it go? And what difference did it make in providing the much needed peace between herders and farmers in your constituency?
Okay, the issue of herders bred security challenges in Nigeria. Then the government that was just coming in then in the first tenure of this administration of Buhari that is coming to an end now was confronted with a very serious security challenges. banditry, terrorism, it came into Nigeria. And the ranks of the headers that were always mobile, moving from place to place, both in the day and in the night, were now getting infiltrated by bandits, getting infiltrated by terrorists, most of them even coming from outside the country. Okay. Now, the issue is, the question was, do headers actually have to move? The answer is no. In other climes where the animal husbandry has developed, has been modernized, they don't move. They stay in one place. They ranch. And then processes are modernized. Meat production is increased. Milk production is increased, is enhanced. As a matter of fact, among nations of the world, Australia and so on, where we have achieved a high level of production of cows and milk, both meat and milk, they don't move. So we said, why are we creating problem, allowing the infiltration of bandits and terrorists into the ranks of headers, when even this mobility does not help the actual production, the actual agricultural output? So we had to come with a legislative intervention to terminate the mobility of herdsmen. Now, but the thing about terminating the mobility of herdsmen is that it will have to come with the modernization of the animal husbandry system itself.
You made reference to the National Agricultural Production and Research Institute, I think NAPRI in
Zaria.
Shika, Zaria. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's understand what you had in mind and what is happening now. Has there been any progress?
Definitely, because NAPRI is the research institute charged with modernizing the animal husbandry system in Nigeria. Okay. Now, so we had to work with them. Okay. The idea is to charge NAPRI with the task of modernizing the animal husbandry system as regards the rearing of cattle. What does it involve? The grass production.
That's for feed.
Yes, for feed.
Okay.
The grass production, the feed fortification, the artificial insemination system, and the baling system.
Okay.
Grass production, because you have the carbohydrate, you have the protein. There are legume plants that you use to produce the grass for protein. You have the other type of grass you use for carbohydrate. They can be fortified. Farmers can get into production of specialized production of these grasses that will be fortified for the animals to give them even more nutrients.
Where do we stand?
And help their growth.
Where do we stand in all of this as of today?
Where we stand is that there's no organized grass production. These animals just roam and they eat grass along the way.
And that brings me to the mandate you have right now, coming into the 10th National Assembly. What difference should we be expecting from you as far as this issue of ranching is concerned?
Incidentally, that program was not carried very, very far before I left the assembly. I intend to start running with it immediately from day one.
Okay.
So that we can actually get to where we want to go. You know, if a nearby country is Rwanda, Rwanda transformed its animal production system. They terminated the mobility of herdsmen, and by so doing, they were able to stop the crisis between the Hutus and the Tutsis. Just the same thing between the headers and the farmers in Nigeria. It was by transformation of the animal husbandry system.
Okay,
now
let's move on.
We are going to pursue that transformation to its logical conclusion. Yes.
Good. Your constituency, Igbo and Udenu, share common boundaries with Kogi and Benue states. The popular Obolafo is headquarters of Udenu, as I found out. There has been news of security breaches in that constituency. This is in addition to disturbances from ESN and the proscribed IPOC group. How would your re-emergence as representative of that constituency resolve, or at the least, contribute to resolving the security challenges in that constituency?
When we are done with what we are doing, particularly in this aspect of the herders, mobility of herdsmen will be terminated, hopefully. When that is done, all the areas of clashes between the farmers, okay, you are eating up the crops, you are matching the farms, you are destroying farms, you are hurting my animals, you are killing my animals, and all of that. All those things that create crisis will be removed.
Okay.
Then when you are an animal farmer, you keep your animals in a ranch, and then feed is brought there. Let me inform you, for instance, that Saudi Arabia is in an arid region, and the grass that they have achieved, they are like the 10th in milk production worldwide, and they have achieved that with feed coming from Brazil through ship. So you don't, a farmer can just be participating in animal husbandry, not even being in contact with the animals, but just producing the grass. And then they can specialize in fortification. They can make the grass more fortified, both in carbohydrate and in protein, and even in the minerals.
Okay, let's zero in on how you hope to translate this mandate you now have as member-elect for Igboeze North Udenu Federal Constituency into effective representation of your people. Give me any 3 other priority areas, if you don't mind, of your targets in the 10th National Assembly. Let's leave security out of it. Just mention 3 other areas in which you intend to make a difference as a legislator.
Okay.
Just mention them. 3.
We say we want to give voice to integrity, to good character and capacity and competence.
That's 1.
2, we want to encourage entrepreneurship and self-help.
Okay.
We want to promote the rule of law.
Okay.
And restructure in order to unleash our potentials in Nigeria, and by so doing,
I will go to the explanation. Voice to integrity,
yes,
good character, and competence.
Yes.
How do you want to achieve that?
The legislator or whoever is in government is supposed to be
how would you?
Is supposed to be a role model.
Okay.
We would discourage acts that are contrary to integrity. We will be leading from the front. We will show the example. In my state, for instance, I am called Mr. Integrity, and it is not for nothing.
By who?
By the whole people of Enugu State. Many people don't even know my name.
Okay.
They call me Integrity. When you say Mr. Integrity, they are talking about, they are referring to me. And it is not just for nothing. It's not just like a mantra. It is the character, it is the behavior, it is the conduct.
Well, you know, politicians, you agree with me that politicians are very good when it comes to say very interesting things. And I'm wondering, how does your priority for integrity and competence translate to helping the people you represent at the National Assembly?
Because we have to put our value system the right side up.
Okay.
We lead by showing the example. Okay. The biggest problem Nigeria has is corruption.
Oh.
One of the biggest problems Nigeria has is corruption.
So you are going to fight corruption?
Yes, by the way I behave, by who I am known to be,
okay,
by the personality I represent.
As Mr. Integrity.
Exactly, and it's not just by the name, but by my character and my lifestyle.
Talk about entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship is that we need to create the enabling environment that will unleash the potentials in our people. For instance, one of the major projects I intend to implement this time around in my constituency is what I call development of a complete value chain in poultry farming within my constituency. That is to build a poultry cluster and then hook up smallholder farmers to a lead farm. Encourage the establishment of a lead farm to which smallholder farmers will be hooked. We have calculated that in the first instance, we intend to create at least 2,000 jobs. direct and indirect jobs. In the first, and now like, I can
As a
explain.
lawmaker,
Yes.
you want to create 2,000
Exactly,
jobs.
and I can explain it here.
Please do.
Okay. In the poultry value chain, you have the feed production,
Yes.
you have the hatchery, you have the meat processing, you have the egg production, you have the meat production. Now, the lead farm will train a band of smallholder farmers within the constituency who will be taught the modern ways of poultry farming. They will then have in the lead farm a farm nearby where they can buy their day-old chicks. That is the hatchery. They can have in the lead farm somewhere nearby where they can buy the feed at an affordable price. That is the feed mill. They can have in the lead farm a farm that can guarantee all their offtake, both of eggs and of meat. That's broilers.
I think I need to get a picture of what you're saying, but for the sake of time, I want to rush you to the next one now. The rule of law. Yeah, I talked about corruption.
Yeah.
And now rule of law is a priority. In 30 seconds, so we could go to the next one. Tell us about what you intend to do about rule of law for your people and maybe among your peers in the 10th National Assembly.
You know, the thing about rule of law is that because anything goes in Nigeria, investors are not encouraged.
Okay.
A modern system should be a system that is governed by the rule of law. People should be able to know that this thing I'm doing is a crime and this is the punishment for it. Not that anything goes. And that there should be political will at all times to punish infractions. Not having some people one set of people,
cows.
no sacred cows. People treated certain people treated one way, and other people treated another way.
You left the main opposition party. Let's move on.
About the rule of law, we have to codify our laws. There are laws that are already mundane and do not serve the realities of the time. We need to look at those laws, modernize them, create new laws, and reform the existing laws.
Okay. Excuse me, please. Now, you left the main opposition party to a much smaller opposition party, although you don't want to agree that it is much smaller.
No.
But instead, now in Nigeria, I'm sure you have interest in the leadership of the House. Do you have personal interest in who becomes Speaker of the House? Or is there a Labour Party alliance you're aligned with?
Every House of Reps member will be interested in who becomes the Speaker. So I am also interested.
Where lies your interest?
My interest is about one, I am a legislator in Nigeria.
Okay.
The Nigerian people look up to me to represent their interest. Okay. We pride ourselves as the people's parliament.
Honorable Dennis,
we are the parliament of the Nigerian people.
Honorable Dennis Nnamdi, where lies your interest as far as Speaker of the House is concerned?
What do you mean by that?
Who are you rooting for?
Who am I rooting for?
Yes.
We are still in the process. The thing is still the process is developing.
You don't know who you are rooting for now?
I'm coming. What we know is that we want a House of Representatives in the 10th Assembly that will represent the best interests of the Nigerian people.
Who are you rooting for?
A person. I'm giving you the qualities of the person I'm rooting for.
Who is that?
Somebody is going to fit that bill, and then the person will become the person we are going to support. And by the way, the minority caucus.
My director is on me to round up the program. So
you mean the program?
Yes.
It's already rounding up. I thought we have not even started.
I wish we had time. I really wanted to hear who you are rooting for.
No, you can hear everything about the politics as it is today.
Hopefully we get another opportunity to continue this conversation. Many thanks, Honorable Dennis Nnamdi Agbo, member representing Igbo in North Udeni Federal Constituency in Enugu State, for joining us on this episode of the program. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
This is where we draw the curtains. The mandate comes up Mondays at 10:05 p.m., Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:30 p.m. My name is Onengie Fineface. Bye for now.